Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast, Reunited, and it feels so good. It feels like it has been forever since I have podcasted with both Garret and Elaine. Welcome back. I know you've been back, but also I haven't been back when you've been back, so now we're all back together.
We missed each other in transit twice. We're all back. This is the best.
We're all back. Finally,
band's back
nobody's
together.
going anywhere, except maybe sometimes, but that's okay.
Look, I have to go on a work trip next week. Just trust me.
Excuses. You just be on your phone in the airplane. Just be like, guys, I'm going to X place. I can't tell you.
No,
but
I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh, dude. Right after you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, get
You're
some
taking
fries
his
on
place
a
in
sandwich.
I've had some fries on a sandwich. We found a brewery.
Get some yins.
We got Arsenal cider to go check out. There's good things there.
There you go, man.
That sounds like the best work trip ever, actually. Can I come?
It's yes. I'll hide you in a bag. It'll be fun.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's been so long. I'm glad the gang's back together. It feels right. It honestly just feels right. I was very excited about this week. I was sad that I had to miss out when you were back last week, and I was at PAX, and then I was back, and you weren't back. But you know what? We make it work, and the gang is back together.
We did it.
I will start by talking about what I've been up to these past 2 weeks, which really has not been a whole lot. The one thing that I do want to talk about is my mission. You might remember my mission this year is to play all of the Zelda games that I have not played before, or I should say that I have not finished before the end of 2022. So earlier this year I played Zelda 2, and that was
awesome.
All sorts of fun. And then just this past week, I played Four Swords. I played the Anniversary Edition, which as many people don't. Let me start from like the beginning. So
yeah, sure.
In 2002, Four Swords originally came out, and yeah, like forever ago. We were so
I was
young.
In college, so it's fine. I'm gonna just take a knee under the table.
Awesome, cool.
We were little kids, Garret.
I was almost 20. Okay.
So, didn't you miss me? I know how much you miss me, Elaine.
I did. My lower back hurts right now. Both of my knees are screaming, and I'm like, oh, that must be Beck summoning me.
Now you've been 6 minutes, and we just did an aging joke. This is going just fine.
We'll see how many we can get in tonight. No, but the game came out. It was paired with A Link to the Past on the Game Boy Advance, and I was so excited. I opened it up. I loved A Link to the Past, and a brand new Zelda game was included. And I remember I booted it up, and I was not able to get past the title screen because it was a multiplayer only game. And back then I had friends who had Game Boy Advances. We even had the link cables so that we could trade Pokemon, but I didn't know anybody who also had a copy of Four Swords. So I never got the chance to play it. Flash forward 20 years and Nintendo says, hey, you know what? Remember this game that we released? It was multiplayer only. We're going to hire Grezzo to come up with a DS port for it and include a single player mode. But it wasn't just DS, it was DSi, and it was only released on the DSi store as like DSiWare for like less than a week. It was like 3 or 4 days.
That's crazy.
I missed the boat. I guess I didn't know about it. I was like in college or something being busy. And I missed the boat and didn't. Okay, listen.
She was in college when the remaster came out. I was in college when I need to take it now. I'm just past my freaking bedtime.
As it turns out, DSi games are really hard to emulate.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it was the 10th anniversary of the game because it was like 2012 or whatever.
It's like vaporware. It just
there were only like 4 games total that were released as DSiWare that were like eShop exclusives or whatever, and that was one of them. And DS emulators like have a hard like they were encrypted a special way or something like that, and like you just can't play them.
Only Nintendo.
I had to
Only
jump.
Nintendo.
I decided, yeah, literally only Nintendo. I had to jump through all these hoops to make it playable, and it surprised me. Do you know how much like everybody knows how much I've been talking about a Zelda Dungeon Maker and how much I've wanted this game?
Of course.
Well, to put it in short, and I didn't really know this about it, but Four Swords is in the Minish Cap style.
Mm-hmm.
But this game predates Minish Cap, so really the Minish Cap is in Four Swords style, and all of the levels, like all of the areas in the levels, are randomly generated. Elaine, like you're smiling, like you probably know all this stuff, and like I am just discovering this.
So I'm smiling because I had the experience of playing the original version with people with the short little GBA link cables in my apartment.
Oh, really?
And I had like basically no furniture on the floor around a GameCube.
Like the
so,
Yeah, that's how you had to do it.
It was very
link
fun.
cable.
I liked that game, but
Interesting.
only because I had people to play it
Yeah,
with.
the link cables to play it with people. Well, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I could definitely see the appeal is much better playing it with friends because it was very easy single player. I beat the main part of the game in one sitting, but I didn't know this until people pointed it out that every time you go into a level, each like screen or whatever is randomly generated. So if you keep playing it, you're going to get like you're going to get different puzzles every time. You're going to get different scenarios every time. So it kind of felt like I was playing a Zelda Dungeon Maker in the Minish Cap style, just because it was like these brand new levels, these brand new puzzles, very simple puzzles, something that, like anybody could put together. But it felt so cool to be playing that. And you could switch between the two links, and it was not bad. Like, I remember in Triforce Heroes, it felt like a pain to play in single player and switch between the links. But in this one, it didn't really feel like a pain. I guess because, like, your other link doesn't get injured when it's not active. And, like, I guess the puzzles are a little bit more simple than they were in Triforce Heroes. But then the post-game was what really surprised me. And this was exclusive to the Anniversary Edition, the DSi version. So I don't know if you play this part, Elaine. So, like, spoilers for a 10-year-old game, but the post game it unlocks a door where you get to play in the Link to the Past world, but like so it's like graphically a Link to the Past, but your character is still like the Four Swords Minish Cap style, and all of the enemies are like still from the Minish Cap Four Swords, but it's just like you're in the part of the beginning of A Link to the Past where like you're in the castle and like you're escaping with Zelda. That was cool.
What?
I beat the levels with that, and then it unlocked another door where I was playing in the original Link's Awakening Game Boy style in the foresty part of that game. And then when I was done with those levels, it unlocked Zelda 1 style. So it really had all these like little, it was like very fan servicey, like very Easter egg kind of, nostalgia fueled. But it was so cool. And it's Grezzo's work that the Anniversary Edition existed and all those post-game levels. So that was 10 years ago. I just want to put out there that this is the 20th anniversary of Four Swords. They put out the Anniversary Edition last year. We still don't have Zelda content confirmed for this year, and we know that Nintendo wants to put out Zelda content on the Switch every year. How cool would it be if they ported the Anniversary Edition to the Switch for the 20th anniversary with online multiplayer included?
I would really like that. I would like that.
That would be really cool.
That would be acceptable because I did not get to play that
version. If they put the Game Boy Advance like Nintendo Switch Online, that could be possible.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
That would be cool.
That is definitely a possibility separate from what we've been mentioning with like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. That would actually be a cool one.
I feel like we might be in the minority. Like, I don't know what you guys prefer, but I feel like most people would prefer Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. Me, as somebody who prefers the top-down games and feel like this is a cool game. Like, I feel like when I was ranking the Zelda games, like, before, I always put Four Swords at the bottom because I had, like, a lot of preconceived notions about it. And I feel like that's because nobody's played it. Like, this has got to be, like, the least played Zelda game because you had to have, like, very specific scenario in order to play it back in the day. And then you had to download it under such a small window on the DSi. Like, how many people really were able to do that?
I wonder
if
I
blocked it after that?
DSi.
It's just goodness.
Yeah,
I have a DSi in a box somewhere. I should check if it runs.
I think you were also able to play it on on Ambassador 3DS.
Oh,
I
do
definitely have that on a
Yes.
3DS somewhere.
I do have that.
Somewhere.
Then you can play it.
I probably have it.
Yeah.
I should look. I should boot
I remember
that DS.
getting that for free, and I had no
Yeah.
idea what the Zelda game was.
Yeah,
I'm like, cool.
I knew what the
New
game
Zelda
was,
game.
but I was like, I've already played it. I don't care so much. But
So
I didn't
if
realize
you-
it had extra
Yeah.
stuff.
It does. And
Mm.
like you can play through the main game in one sitting. So like you should, just to get to that extra post game stuff, because honestly that was better than the main game. I'm serious.
I want to see that.
But if you weren't
sure.
in one of those 3 like very small pools of people, you have to jump through hoops to play this game.
Yeah.
Yep, that's ridiculous. It's
But
a
that's
good
what I
game.
played, and I really enjoyed it. I'm finishing the Zelda 1 portion of it tomorrow on my stream, but
Sweet.
that was definitely a gem. I liked it a lot better than Zelda 2.
Zelda 2
and
is
that will
rough.
Probably
It's
be
rough.
my favorite Zelda experience this year,
Nice. Wow.
That's really, really cool.
because the only other games that I have to play this year are Four Swords Adventures, which I started, Spirit Tracks, and Phantom Hourglass.
Neither of
good
those
luck
were
with the
my
last
favorite.
2.
They were not
Yeah.
my favorite. They were
Wait,
fine. They just weren't my favorite.
How are you going to play those?
Well, I have to buy them on the Wii U eShop in a timely manner.
Like in the next couple of days.
Yeah,
We'll talk about it. We'll
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, we will.
But yes, Elaine, what have you been up to lately?
Yeah.
So
Elaine.
let's see. What did I play? I'm still working on Horizon Forbidden West. That game is huge, and I haven't quite finished
heard
it
it's
yet.
huge.
I purchased Nobody Saves the World on Switch.
Ooh.
Yes.
With the intention of playing it, but I just haven't gotten there yet. So I have to take a certification
okay.
exam soonish in the next couple of months. So I've been studying chemistry that I haven't done since I was playing Four Swords in my apartment with people.
Elaine just asked me. I'm a chemist, so just whatever.
I don't understand how to balance equations anymore, Garrett.
Oh, no.
I'm so scared. See, it's everybody's reaction.
This is math.
It's kind of math. I can do all the math. So this is basically like an engineering fundamentals exam that spans like 10 different topics.
Wait, are you doing what, EIT or what?
It's the professional engineer certification.
You're doing the PE. You're doing the professional.
So I have to take the FE and then I get to take the PE test. This is fun. I'm too old for studying. I can't remember things anymore.
I totally did not go that route. All my friends did it.
I know.
And then I just went like
you went to academia. You did different things.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to play Nobody Saves the World yet because I've been studying. I did get painfully addicted to Plants vs. Zombies 2 because I bought an iPad. And then I got my girlfriend addicted to it. And I think she's playing it over there as we speak. Probably on 2 devices at the same time because that's what's been happening.
I didn't know there was a 2. I thought it was just the one, Plants vs.
There's
Zombies.
2 and then they're making a 3rd, but it's been delayed forever. 2 is not bad. It's free to play. So it's a little, free to play.
It's free to play, and then you purchase a pass or something? Or
you don't have to even do that. You can just play.
Okay.
You can just play it and just watch the occasional ad and just keep playing forever. It's a big game.
Think of Plants vs. Zombies, I think of all of the app games that were very popular in like the late 2000s, like Cut the Rope and Angry Birds and Doodle Jump.
Plants vs. Zombies is the one that I finished the first game, the whole campaign of, and really loved. Like, I thought it was a really well-balanced tower defense.
It's really, really good.
2 is slightly less well-balanced only because there's so much in it that it almost feels overwhelming, but it's still fun. Like, the game, it's great. You don't really have to use your brain so much, and it's kind of nice sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that, and then I bought Reggie's book. It's called Disrupting the Game.
Ooh, I bought that too. Did you read it yet?
I bought the audiobook, which he narrates, which is awesome.
Oh,
so I've been,
I need to get the audiobook.
Get the audiobook. So on my commute, I've been listening to Reggie narrate his career and advice to me.
I'm sure he loved that.
It's great. It's like the best way to walk into work in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to crush it. Like, he's the best. So it's a really great read. So I'm like a third of the way through. So the audiobook is really good because, it's him and Reggie's great. So
Let me tell you how I got into Pizza Hut and then Nintendo.
He talks about
his
whole arc through from being a little kid in the Bronx and an immigrant. It's great.
That's
it's
so
really,
cool.
really, really good. And I highly recommend that book. So that's most of what I've been doing.
Cool.
Nice.
Garret?
Did you finish it
You
yet?
know my
Did you finish
you
it?
know my answer.
Did you finish the game yet, Garrett?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna just say a few things.
Garrett,
63 hours then.
is it done?
Ooh.
N-
That's
it's
like
not
10
done.
hours that you had like last week. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
I put 10 hours in there.
Yeah.
I'm hauling it. I know I keep saying, God, I want to finish it, but at the same, it's a love hate relationship, guys. I'm like, oh, this is still so good. Like, it's gonna end soon, like very, very soon, and I don't want it to end because it's so
do you have a
good.
thing? I don't know if this is like
Yeah.
exclusive to me, like if I'm just weird or if other people do this too, but like I'll get like maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way through a game and like stop playing it, just like not because I'm not enjoying it. Like I love playing it, but
Mhm.
like I guess like subconsciously, like I don't want it to be over. But then like
I
I have a
have
hard
done
time
this.
picking it back up again, even though I really want to keep playing it, but like I can't get myself to keep playing it because I know I'm getting near the end.
I have this problem
Yeah.
with TV series that I know I'm about
Oh,
to
really?
finish, and it will really bum me out. So
Yeah.
I save episodes. Yeah, I'm really bad about this. And sometimes books, not games. Games, I'm just like, I have put 80 hours into you. You need to, by the time we get there, I'm like, I see where this story is going. We need to be done now. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
So
I want to finish it too because I just want to say, hey, I want to get to the next one. I know the next game I'm playing after this, the next big game.
Mhm.
Guys, I'm talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5, by the way, if you
Yeah.
guys didn't know.
it's the same
Your
thing,
next
guys.
big game is
It's the
Shin
same
Megami
thing.
Tensei 6.
I
It will
wish.
be by the time he finishes this
I
game.
know.
I know, right? I am level 70 now, so 10 levels up. Got all the end bosses almost taken care of. I think it's like 2 more required ones, and then like 2 or 3 more optional ones.
Look,
So
you found
that's
the
the end of
very
it.
phallic monster. You've had your Shin Megami Tensei
Oh,
experience.
I fused the you know,
That's a word choice for this
Wait,
conversation.
can we talk about that?
it's
It,
guys, just look up Mara SMT5.
it's riding a chariot. Like it's yeah, you should look this up, Bex. He put it on his Twitter.
Mara?
No, not Twitter.
MARA.
I put it on Discord. I did not put it
Oh,
on
did you
Twitter.
put it on Discord? You should have put it on Twitter. It's
Oh,
Garrett
you
After
weren't
Dark.
kidding.
I told you so.
That's not even like an accent.
No,
like that's
it's not
supposed to be
pretending.
that.
Yeah, it's phallic and riding a chariot. Like I have concerns. That monster is in every
Yeah.
Shin Megami game. Every single one. It's in all.
You know, I was going through the game and I'm like, where is this thing? I don't know
Oh,
where
you
it
knew it
is.
was
And
there.
then it was like very late game. I was like, oh, I can
Bex,
fuse it
your
now.
face is still.
Why
so
is it on a
concerned.
wagon?
Look, it's very heavy.
We don't know.
Okay,
We really don't know.
it's very sick. It needs help.
Every single monster in that game is based off of mythology, so I'm sure it has some sort of story behind it.
I can't.
I
Wait,
can't
does it have a
either.
human form or is that a different
No.
one?
No.
That's
That's it.
That's its
the
form.
thing. That's
It'll
its
talk
form.
to you. It's upsetting.
It has a mouth, yes.
Mhm. I wasn't
So
joking.
there you go. Guys, just be warned. Don't have family around you when you're searching this stuff
Don't
up.
look that up. Look, Max is just like, I can't believe this is in a video game. Like,
And now you know why
Guys,
it's rated
suddenly I want to
M.
play Shin Megami Tensei 5.
it's Shaq After Dark, y'all. This is what happens when we start so late.
Oh
East Coast time.
goodness.
Woo!
Goodness. Guys, once I'm done with this game, and everyone out there, tweet at me or message me or whatever, and I will whatever. With this game, I want to see if someone knows a better turn-based game. Like in terms of gameplay, I want to know, because I don't think anyone can name another better turn-based game in terms of gameplay, not story, not pacing, because it's all over the place. The gameplay itself, so good. What?
Persona,
Elaine?
Persona 4? Persona.
No.
Persona 4.
And
And also, did you play the oh, what the hell was it called? And it just got re-released on Switch. The Persona sort of knockoff game, but it had Fire Emblem roped into it.
Oh, that's
my
Sharp
God.
FE Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I really love the battle system of that.
It's
game.
good too. It's very
It's
similar.
It's good.
SMT5's better.
You're saying words that are fighting words. Like
Yeah,
they're fighting.
it's
They're like,
and
I'm bringing out the
Persona's
Italian hands. I couldn't stop myself. Look what's happened.
and
Look what's going on."
Persona's great too. It's just this game is better. You are not wasting anything in this game. You're doing everything that you can in order to beat these monsters. Like every single move, every single item, every single mechanic that you're doing, you're using it to your advantage to beat this game. I just wanted it. Just tell me, give me a list, and I will look through that list and see if I can genuinely look into that game, see if it's better. But I don't think anyone
Chat,
can
he's evil
right
and
now.
must be stopped.
Yes.
I can't stop it. I have to. Okay.
And I'm just talking about turn-based games. I'm not talking about like strategy or action or whatever. I'm just saying
Yeah.
in terms of gameplay. Of course, Persona stories are miles better, like way better. But yeah. Anyways, still playing Shining Force, still playing Far Cry 5, and that's pretty much it.
Cool.
That's it. And the
Video
next thing
games.
on the docket is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
That's
wanna
supposed to
play
be a
that.
good game. I guess I should probably get to that eventually.
Are you planning on finishing that before July?
I don't know if I can.
He's not going to finish that before. He might not even finish Tensei 5
might-
before July.
I'm so even right now.
Come
I'm
on,
getting
come
there.
at me, bro.
I mean, is she wrong?
I'm freaking getting there, okay? Probably not next week, but the week after, okay?
It turned really, I will fight you. And I'm like, oh, let's bring it.
I
Let's do
love
it.
this. See, I missed
Let's do
this.
I missed you guys.
Whew.
All
Got
right.
me fired up.
Mhm.
Shall we get into this week in Nintendo?
Let's do this.
We had an Indie World showcase. I was not able to watch it live. It occurred when I was at work. But I saw the list of everything that was announced. I kind of skimmed through the video. I didn't watch the whole thing, but 20 total games were shown.
Mm-hmm.
I will go through what we thought, I guess, were the highlights. I know some people might have different opinions. They started off with Ooblets, which was probably the best announcement. I don't know.
That
Coming
depends
this
on what
summer.
you're into, but it is
Yeah,
good
I
that
know
it's
a lot
coming
of
this
Animal
year.
Crossing fans like this, like on what was it, like PC or whatever.
It's a good start, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this was a reveal for Gunbrella. It's by the Gato Roboto devs,
I am
Devolver Digital.
I'm pumped
Mhm.
about that one. That's my
That
jam.
one looks
That's
super
next-
cool.
That's next year, correct? That's
Not coming next
2022.
year. Yeah, it
next
does
year.
look cool. They reminded us that Cult of the Lamb is coming to Switch this year. This was the game that I stood in line for 2 hours for my friend Mary to demo at PAX
did you
East,
play
and
it?
I watched her play it because we were standing in line for her, but I watched her play it, and I watched lots of people in front of me in line play it, and they gave me a free shirt. And I don't really like roguelites, but this looks like a freaking cute game, so I'm probably gonna get it. I mean, you get to create a cult and indoctrinate other little animals and
I'm here for it.
recruit
That
them to your
sounds like a
cult.
Devolver game to me.
Yeah,
That
it sounds like a Devolver game
It's
because
very, very adorable.
Yeah.
I mistakenly thought, based on the name, that Card Shark was the name of a card game that I thought maybe Garrett would like. That's not the case. It was Wild Frost by Deadpan Games.
Wild
I'm
Frost looks
interested in-
really, really good. But I'm also
Wild Frost looks great, and both
I'm also
look great.
into Card Shark for different reasons. It's like, yeah, it looks great.
Yeah,
Okay.
Card Shark looks more artistic, story driven.
It's a story game. Yeah.
And it's a regular card game. Like
Mhm.
you have like poker or something along the lines of that, right? But it's an actual game called Card Shark.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
they made
know.
up a game. I have to look
They
it up.
made up
but
a game with a regular deck of cards.
They
Okay,
gave that
cool.
one a window, didn't they?
Well, the
June
demo's
2.
out.
They gave it a
Yeah.
date, June 2, and the demo is out, which is cool because they had not previously. They've been kind of cagey on releases for that.
Mhm.
So
And then Wild Frost is published by Chucklefish and then collaborated with Deadpan Games and Gazetteer. I'm very excited for this one. It looks
it's a
like
roguelike deck
Spire.
builder. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, roguelike deck
is
builder.
a Garrett game.
It's my jam
Okay.
too. I'm here for it.
Yeah, especially on Switch. Yes.
Those are great on Switch.
I would be fired if I didn't mention Curse to Golf coming this summer.
Oh, probably.
Yep.
The Japanese showcase, ours didn't have this, but the Japanese showcase gave a release date for Omori, which was the game that
Yeah.
our indie showcase ended on last time. It's getting a release window of June next month.
Nice.
It looks really cool.
So Let me ask Don Rod's question. Don Rod wanted to know, when does Silk Song news come for reals, release date, or anything thoughts? I just want to say, before we get into this question, I feel like everyone's, I see people in chat like asking like, no Sports Story, no Sea of Stars, no Silk Song. Let me remind you that for these indie showcases, I can't remember a time where they showed a trailer for something that was in a previous indie direct. If they have, it's pretty rare. They
Very
don't
rare.
normally show us stuff that we already know is coming to Switch, that has already been revealed, already announced, already have trailers for. I'm sure somebody is going to come up with an exception and tell
Card
me something
Shark
that
is actually
existed.
an exception to that
Is
rule.
it?
They showed it
Yeah.
previously. They dated
It's
it in
Yes,
this
they
one.
did.
Every once in a
it's
while.
very
You're right.
rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
But Silk Song is a big release, right? It's not like your average indie. So I actually don't
Silk
think
Song
it's
will
gonna.
not be in an indie direct.
I was just gonna say, I think
Ever.
it'll. If they're gonna do something, if you're gonna get news this year, it's gonna happen in June if they do a bigger thing.
It's going to be in a full Nintendo Direct.
I
Whenever
agree.
that is, it could be June, it could be September, it could be next year. Who knows? It's not going to be in an indie Direct at this point.
Alternately, it could waltz on with some other publisher, PlayStation maybe.
Oh
could
yeah,
pick
for
up
sure.
the showing of that game because it's going to hit PC, PlayStation, probably Xbox as well. I don't know if Nintendo's going to get first dibs on showing that thing. So
Or
we'll see.
Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
you know?
Xbox
It's
might
like,
grab it up, but PlayStation could totally show it too.
Yeah.
So we might not even see it first on a Nintendo thing. So we'll
For
see.
sure.
No, and I don't know if anybody really should have been expecting Silk Song at this
I
one
was
anyway.
not.
I'm trying to pull up my source here for Team Cherry. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
sounds
they
good.
tweeted a few days before the Indie Direct saying something along the lines of
Nope.
We're still working
like,
on it.
Yeah, like
And
we don't have anything to share at this time. Like we'll have news to
Yeah.
share in the coming weeks or months or something like that. So like we should have known that wasn't going to be in there anyway.
yeah,
I assume
I'm
no.
just getting kind of tired of it on Twitter. Every time I
Become
see
a meme.
yes, a Nintendo Indie World, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Silk Song and Sports Story," and then people are making fun of the people that are anticipating these games on Indie World Directs, and I'm like, "Oh guys, you're making my
Yeah.
head hurt. Like, I don't want this my wall filled with all this stuff." And it's like
There are
I'm
other games.
yeah.
People
Yeah,
are just excited, and I get that.
I know.
I really do. But I don't think we'll see, especially Silk Song, on a Nintendo first anymore. I think whoever picks it
not
up,
even like a direct.
I think Sony will get to it first, or Xbox will get to it first. I think that's where we'll see it first.
Silk
This is just
Song,
my
yeah,
prediction.
I could see that.
It's gonna run. It might run like crap on the Switch. We have no idea. So, just who knows at this point? Or they might need extra time for Switch.
And Silk Song is a full sequel, right? Like this is a full
My
game
understanding is yes, it is a full
sequel.
sequel.
Oh, cool.
So it's a big game, and
Yeah.
they're a small team. So,
Yeah.
that's the deal.
That's the deal. I'm fine with that. And this direct was fine. It
was
showed
fine.
what it needed to show. It was a good mix of games.
Below
I would also
average.
be remiss if I didn't mention Soundfall, which was out as of release, as
was
of
cool.
the date of the direct, and that's a cool looking game. I will
Mhm.
probably pick that up. I was actually hoping that one would come to Game Pass, and it has not, but it may in the future. So it would
Yeah.
be a good Game Pass game.
I saw Mini Motorways. It looked
Mhm.
cute.
That one I think
it's
was
like-
a tablet game at one point. I forget. It
I'm
looks
sure
great.
it was a tablet game.
So,
It looks like
Didn't
a
they do
tablet
like
game,
Mini
yeah.
Metro, and it was a similar idea? I forget. Someone will have to correct me in chat. You guys
It
know
looks cool
things.
though. And it's like a little simulation traffic game.
Yeah, those
Us
are like
engineers
super
are
fun.
geeking out.
Yeah, those are fun. It was
Good
fine.
stuff.
It was a nice,
Yeah.
little.
Catch
I
up.
think
Here's some
the
stuff
last
before
Indie Direct was
summer.
really, really good. This
It
one,
was.
they didn't even have like one more thing. There weren't that many out now. I think there was like one, maybe two out nows.
What was the another crab game? Everyone
Oh, that
was
looks
just
like fun. They're making a crab roguelike. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
another
fun.
Crab's Treasure.
I'm
An
pulling up
action
my
RPG
notes.
with crabs.
It's,
Totally accurate battle simulator as well. Tabs is a big
Yeah.
one.
That's
Yeah.
a fun game. I'm glad it's coming to Switch. It's a good place for it. It's goofy, and it would be a good place.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like, it wasn't their best indie showcase, but it was all right. And I feel like it's a nice bridge to something bigger, hopefully in June. That's what I imagine. So
I like
I
them
agree.
giving highlights to these devs. Again, don't be expecting the next Indie Direct to have like any big update on Sea of Stars or any big update, you know, Cult of the Lamb or, you know, whatever. Like they're not going to show Ooblets again. Like this is they don't really do that. So don't expect that.
Yep.
Also out this week, Nintendo's full year earnings report. We have some cool statistics for you because everybody loves statistics. Nintendo's full year sales hit 13 billion with hardware held back by chip shortages. The Switch hit 107 million units to date. Fun fact, this surpasses the lifetime software units sold on the Wii U, which was at 103 million. So there are more Switches than sold Wii U games.
It's sad. It's so sad.
Guys, imagine that. Wii U software games less than the Switch hardware.
It was a bad marketing campaign, man, and this is proving it. So
we did it. We did it, guys.
Lordy.
Oh, it's awesome.
The next one is a little bittersweet to me. I don't know. I guess it's something to celebrate. Metroid Dread sells 2.9 million copies. This makes it the best-selling Metroid game ever. It just barely surpasses Metroid Prime's 2.84 million. I was hoping it would sell a little bit more than that. It didn't even quite hit 3 million. It will pass 3 million. It'll continue to sell, you know, as you know, the year goes on. I just feel like they put, so Yarden wants to know, why doesn't Metroid sell well? It's still niche. I was kind of hoping that with how hard Nintendo pushed it last year, it was up for Game of the Year. Like it was getting a lot of marketing time. Like there was the hype surrounding it. We know that Metroid Prime 4 is on the horizon someday, somewhere. I don't know. I thought that it would definitely pass 3 million. I thought it would be like 3.5.
It's not one of those recognizable franchises that like people who just walk through a store know. You know what I mean? Because there haven't been enough games like for people to know. It's a pretty restricted list. It's not like Mario and Zelda, even Animal Crossing, that kind of bleeds into the general colloquialism of like conversation about games. It just doesn't. And it's too bad because I really love Metroid. The other problem with it is it was hard. You know what I mean? And it reviewed as such. And when it reviews as such, some people who read reviews are like, you know, I don't want to deal with that right now.
Yeah.
And that's can be a turnoff. So I think it's just...
Yeah,
I also think that game has popularity issues in Japan. I don't think Metroid sells in Japan.
No, it doesn't.
So
it sold like
cut off
200,000 copies in Japan or something like that.
So you've cut off a huge market that usually picks a lot of Nintendo games up and like drives their sales up. So I think there's just a perfect storm of problems. It's too bad. It's exceptional, and I love Metroid. It's my favorite of the Nintendo like character series. So
it is still niche. I agree with everything you said, Elaine. I hope that Nintendo doesn't stop pushing it, because I would love to see it in their ranks of their top franchises, along with Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Pokemon.
Agreed.
If they keep pushing it, you know, it is their best selling Metroid. Like, don't let this stop you. Yes, I don't know what their expectations were for it, but imagine having as one of their top franchises a powerful, strong woman character of like such a unique genre. Like, this game created a genre pretty much. Like, I don't know. I want them to keep going with this momentum.
I do too, and I'm glad that this game went back to those roots of 2D, like, you know, Metroidvania style game, Super Metroid game, you know?
Yeah. I also think the 2D is not as popular as it once was, and that hurts. That really hurts.
It does.
I think it's
most people don't want to play that.
Metroidvania.
I think people who love Metroid expect that. This is the dichotomy. This is the issue. Let's see if Metroid Prime releases. I don't want to say when, because I don't want to jinx myself. If Metroid Prime 4 releases, let's see how it sells, because maybe that's a more perfect storm for people who wanted
my fear for that game is people are going to see the number 4 and get turned off from it. You wouldn't go see the 4th movie in a series without ever knowing anything about the first 3.
Actually, I would disagree with you on that.
Really?
With Witcher 3, Fallout. Yeah, there's
they
many
did
games.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, the sales on regular games that have a number at the end, it's fine. It really is.
Especially if they give you a cute little recap video at the beginning, or release the trilogy on.
But they haven't, and nobody's gonna play 3 games like a month before the next game.
I would, but I'm weird.
You would. So. You're not the normal consumer.
No, I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
You're
I
completely
think
right.
they could spin Metroid Prime 4 just fine. I don't know if it's gonna surpass that barrier that it's at right now. When I see 2.9 million copies for Dread, I'm like, okay, I guess that's the limit for
I don't
Metroid
think it's the
franchise.
limit. I think Bex has a good point that a lot of like people who haven't played those games in a long time are like, really back to 2D? Nah. You know what I mean? I think
I just don't know.
I also think younger
Yeah.
people don't like those kind of games. Younger
I have
people
no
don't like
idea.
2D like platformer type
Yeah,
games.
they like more.
Like they like
What
first person
I
shooters.
just wonder what Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be. You know,
it's
like
gonna be a Prime game, you know, and like a bigger exploration
what does that
game.
mean? Is that gonna be first person view?
Yeah,
or
It'll be
third
first person shooter.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
If they're going to
Yeah.
use the word Prime, you expect a
Yeah.
first-person exploration-driven Metroid game, right? And they
Yeah,
don't
I'm
have
just
to
wondering
name
how
it
it looks.
4. If they're smart, they'll just rename it. Metroid
Right,
Dread
because
if
the
it
other
looks like
two
a-
had subtitles, Corruption and Echoes.
and Metroid Dread follows directly on from another game, but they didn't name it with Fusion, you know, and then 2.
They didn't call it Metroid 5.
They didn't call it any of that. They didn't call it Metroid
Yeah.
Fusion 2 either because it was directly following that story. So they could
Mhm.
just not. They could just not give it the numbered title, give it a one name title,
That's
you know,
true.
and
I
then
hope they
Okay.
do that.
avoid this. So
If
That's
they
true,
make
very
it in
true.
a first person shooter aspect and like make it look solid,
it'll look
like
good.
in terms of performance, I mean, I'm just, it's been a
Yeah.
while for Retro as well of making this type of game. You know, they've
Mhm.
been on the Donkey Kong train doing the 2D stuff for a while, and now they're like, all right, we're going back to the first person view. Let's see how this goes. But I'm excited now. If it's gonna be like a first person shooter, a
Yeah.
current
That's
first
what the
person
Prime.
shooter.
That's what the
That'd be
Prime
cool.
games, you know, were. They were giant open world explorations with first person mechanics, and I really liked
Mhm.
them. Prime, the first Prime was like I sat in a dark dorm room with friends and we took turns playing that game, and it was amazing.
That's so cool.
It was a really cool experience. The GameCube just came out at the right time for me, like, you know. So yeah, I'm hoping that one does well. I get why Metroid doesn't sell. They chop their market almost in half by losing the Japanese market on these games. Like they
Mhm.
just get crushed on that. So it's too bad.
I'm
They
glad
could
they're
have
still
a
making
real
them. though.
strong Western IP though if they keep pushing it.
True. Hopefully they do.
Of like Halo and
Yeah.
Doom and stuff. I don't know. Anything else we want to talk about the Nintendo financial report?
I think I need to look up Ring Fit Adventure. It's like 15 million sales
Yeah.
now for that one.
Game is dope.
Green.
That's
Super
insane,
fun.
and they should put out a sequel.
Agree.
They'll
Totally.
definitely
Give me
put
more
out a
reasons to use
sequel.
it.
They
This I
surpassed
feel like has
14
been
million.
Nintendo's biggest dark horse on the Switch.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's more than $60 because of that freaking ring thing. It's like, I think MSRP is like 80 or something.
But it's
like
down.
that.
It's been routinely down to 60 often now.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you can
Sounds
get
good.
it for like a reasonable. And that ring, like that is an actual real Pilates ring. So if you do,
Yeah, it's
you can
nice.
bring
it's
it
durable.
over into other things also, which is kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that. So
You can use it for Nintendo Switch Sports, the soccer kicking game.
oh right, that's true.
Yay.
Good time.
The smash hit Switch Sports.
It's
Gotta love
fun.
it.
Don't at me. What are you doing? What's
At
happening? Why do you
Elaine.
want to fight all day, Garrett?
I know. I'm like that. It's interesting to hear that they're held back by chip shortages. Of course, we'll transition to the next one. They'll talk about that. But yeah, it's just pretty much everywhere now. Chip shortages is affecting everything.
Mhm.
And it's not gonna back down like the next 2 years. So guys, get ready. The sales are just gonna keep going down. And okay. Anyways, we can go to the next story.
I'm okay with that because of the next thing that we're talking about. So Nintendo says that the transition to its next console is a major concern for us. And I'm putting that in air quotes because I heard that was like kind of like sketchily translated, but a lot of headlines went with this wording. So Nintendo wants to build a long-term relationship with its users via Nintendo accounts and by using its IP outside of gaming in order to alleviate the risk of resetting its 100 million plus user base. Makes sense, right? They think back to Nintendo's recent history. Its successor consoles have been significantly less successful than its predecessors. So take, for example, going from the massively successful Wii to the Wii U, going from the wildly popular DS to the 3DS. Nintendo says that they are mindful of these experiences, how the successor of these consoles have not been as popular as its predecessors. So they give hints of backwards compatibility that could be utilized for its next game console to maintain and expand its audience. All of that makes sense. It seems that Nintendo's actually paying attention to its past failures. I don't know.
Don't jinx it, because
I
it could
know.
easily get jinxed and we could get completely screwed on software. I own probably upwards of 100 Switch games physically and then
Yeah.
digital. I would
Mhm.
I would be pissed if they didn't take that forward. Like, I would be upset. And it would probably be the first time I was upset about it, because I've never had quite the library
Same.
Right.
that I do for this particular console. I have all my old Super Nintendo games. It's not that big of a list. N64, I also own the ones I love there. Game Boy, GBA. GBA is probably the one that comes even like, it's still like probably 30% of what I own for Switch. I would be upset. It would be really frustrating. So hopefully they think about it really carefully before they move forward with this next device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course they're concerned when they go to the next console release, and they're seeing it right now with PlayStation and Xbox. Xbox is doing better than their previous gen, which is, it's kind of expected. It's kind of, you're seeing it with both models pushing units like crazy. PlayStation's having a rough time of keeping up with its sales, and they're seeing that. They're seeing that market share, and they're like, okay, when we do this in 2 years at minimum, they just can't be on the Switch forever. So when it's gonna be, they're gonna have to make sure they have enough and push it out as much as they can in terms of the user base.
And if that means sticking an SD slot in, essentially, for the Switch
Yeah.
carts, they've done this before. They had a GBA slot on the first run of DSs.
Can
They
I
had
bring
one.
something up?
Sure.
Yes.
So I don't think the backwards compatibility is why these successors have failed. I mean, the Wii U
No.
was able to play Wii games. The 3DS was able to play DS games. So I don't think the backwards compatibility is its biggest problem.
I think
I don't think so either.
those two
Um,
systems failed because they didn't really have one failed because it didn't have a reason or a place. Like, that 3D gimmick did not sit. And the Wii U is the worst marketing and naming campaign probably in video game history. Like, they're up
Yeah.
there.
And
This
the
is a
3DS
different
entry price was kind of high too.
This
So it
yeah,
was
and
a
it was
harder
entry,
barrier of
and they
And
entry.
they
pulled it
didn't have
back.
games at launch. Neither of them
Exactly.
had
No,
games
they
at
didn't.
launch.
Yeah.
But I think the user base that they've developed on the Switch is probably their biggest ever, arguably, maybe, or very close. And people are buying software. Like, the attachment rate is very high for this device, which is not usually the case. Like, it wasn't the case with the Wii. The attachment rate for the Wii was super low. People would buy the Wii, get Wii Sports, maybe 1-2 other games, and be done.
Just Dance, yeah.
That was it. And so
Mhm.
this is like a very unique situation that they find themselves in, where like software attachment is very high, user base is really high. They can't leave that behind this time, and this might be the first time they really have to sit down and think about, like, oh no, this is actually important. I think that's why it's a major problem or a focus point, you know?
I also remember another thing about the backwards compatibility. Wasn't it if you wanted to play your digital Wii games on the Wii U, didn't you have to pay like a little fee to bring them over?
Yeah,
I
you
remember I
had to
had to
pay
pay
an
like
upgrade
$5
fee.
or something to bring
Yep.
like a single game over to the Wii U.
Yeah, I think
I
you
was like,
did. There was
what?
only certain games worked, so digital purchasing was an issue.
Right.
And this is something that Microsoft and Sony have both done better, at least in recent generations. Like, Microsoft is especially good at this. I'm going to give them credit where it's due. You boot up an Xbox Series X and all your Xbox One games are just there now. And a lot of your 360 games are backwards compatible. So like,
Yes.
Mhm.
Nintendo's got to figure this out, and I actually do think it's getting to be important at this point.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that they talked about the Nintendo accounts being utilized because, and I
Mhm.
could not care less about them using like their IP. I don't care about the Mario movie. I don't care about Super Nintendo Land or whatever it's called. Cool. That's awesome. But I like that they're using the language about the Nintendo accounts that, you know, hopefully in 30 years from now, I still have the same Nintendo account. And because I bought A Link to the Past at one point in time on my Nintendo Sphere Cube Plus, I'll be able to download it without buying it again.
That would
I
be
think
lovely.
that's it. the expectation of transferring your game library is becoming prominent. It's like it's like
non-negotiable, right?
non-negotiable at this point. Like
Yeah.
if you're like, okay, here's the next console, clean slate, guys. You're gonna have
can't do
0
that.
games. You're gonna start with Breath of the Wild 2 in the ported version of Switch 2. Like that's
Now,
not
let me
gonna fly
ask.
by.
So, like, if you have Breath of the Wild digitally, like, how much work is that for them to make that available digitally on their next console?
So
Like,
that
this could be
depends.
magnitudes
depends
of
on the
work in
architecture of the
years and years and
hardware.
years and years.
It
for
depends on the
them.
architecture. So Microsoft built an architecture that just allowed them to run those games. Like they built
Right.
everything on an architecture that
Mhm.
made it easy. The Switch was built on a pretty standard off-the-shelf chip and programmed around it. There are faster versions of that chip now available that are built on similar architecture. Theoretically, they could do it relatively easily, but it depends, and no one knows how they've built their
Yeah.
code and their back-end systems and all that stuff. So
I'm sure they're keeping it in mind, and I think it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be easily traversable to like from Switch to the next gen Just think about it. I don't know, other than being an advancement of the Switch, I don't know what it's gonna be, and Nintendo's gonna have to show me it. What the
sure.
next console is. It's still gonna be a Nintendo console, but I'm just imagining a beefier Switch. Just in my
That's
eyes.
the right move. So let's see if they
Yeah.
make the right move. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We've
and
hit the top of the hardware here. We've butted up against what it can do.
yeah,
right?
I just don't know what plaything are they gonna do? What's the novelty thing?
I hope it doesn't have to be that way. I hope they've realized they found
Yeah.
a win here that's very unique. And
Mhm.
all they have to do is make it faster and better and give a compelling reason to upgrade. And they're in. You know what I mean? And people who
Yeah.
aren't ready to upgrade yet will keep their system and they'll get there eventually.
Make it
As
like the
long as
iPhone.
Yeah, as long as their library is backwards compatible, they'll be like, "Oh, eventually I'll when I have the money, I'll upgrade."
Yeah.
I don't think Nintendo's like that, but I want them to be like that.
Me too.
And
That's my hope.
I want that hybrid to stay forever. I just value that so
Mhm.
much, and
Mhm.
I like the
Agree.
Switch. And yeah, maybe they can.
I have
they
so
can
many
keep making
games
the
I want to play
Joy-Con
on my
better
Switch
after
still.
time.
And I'm
I have
like,
like
if I
well over 100. Yeah.
Yeah, if I have a
Yeah.
Switch too, and like it's like, okay, great, I can just bring my backlog over and just
Mhm.
play it from there. You
That
know,
would be desirable.
Especially if we
Yeah.
can play physical games too, because I'll feel pretty snubbed if like it's like, okay, like you can transfer your digital games up, but like, oh, you know, in 2 console generations from now, if you have your physical Breath of the Wild, too bad.
Yeah, that would be a
actually,
bummer.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what physical form they're gonna keep. Um, that's a good question, actually. I'm sure the next gen console will be similar, these small cards or whatever. But what is the next thing after that? It's just gonna be
Cards are going to keep
all
being
digital.
the smart move or all digital because they're like
Yeah.
there's no read time on those things, you
I
know?
love carts. They're so much
They're
better.
they're a lot
They're
faster, they're easier
sturdier.
to
Yeah,
store.
they're faster, sturdier. I love
So
them.
Are they more expensive too?
they
I'm
can
not.
be. The
A
Yeah.
little bit,
larger
yeah.
carts get more expensive.
Yeah.
They've had
And
this problem. So
yeah, I just I don't know the logistics behind the business of game card production and everything, but I'm sure it'll just get more and more expensive as it goes on with less material availability. I don't know. I don't know what it is like
we will
for that.
see. I am curious to
Mhm.
see. So
But at this rate, we're gonna have the Switch for 10 more years because chip shortages.
they're supposed to be alleviated in 2024, so don't expect anything before that.
They
That's the way
say
I see it.
they don't even know by then. Like my goodness.
No, they won't know.
Like
So
cars are being like just left in the lot. Like they've been made, they just haven't had a chip in it to make it work. Like
I know.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
it's shortages everywhere. GPUs, I'm surprised that they're finally being like closer to MSRP, but
Yep.
now 40 series, like the next generation of GPUs are about to be announced, and of course that's gonna just go through the same loop. It's gonna be so much higher price.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's true.
I'm interested to hear about Switch 2. At least I hope it's Switch 2.
Super Switch.
Oh, please don't. Oh my
Don't.
goodness.
Oh God, all right, what do we have next? Please leave that in the dust.
It's like the Wii U.
Ew.
What? Why don't you like Super Switch?
I think they need
They
I don't
can't.
know.
They can't do Super
They can.
Switch.
Don't say they can't. They will.
I
Oh my
actually
God.
like that. It's like the Super Nintendo. Was that bad? Super Nintendo?
We're not in the 80s anymore, 90s though. I don't know if they can pull that off.
SNES, NES.
Don't you know
I
that's
can
what's
get the
trendy right now?
difference.
The 80s and 90s are really trendy right now. Trust me, I work at a school. Go ahead,
I
Garrett,
do
talk
trust
about
you.
Monster
I'm
Hunter.
too old to know the difference. But it's nice that my clothes I fit in again. It's so good.
Super Switch, I don't know. It just sounds tacky. SS, you know, is like
Nintendo's totally gonna choose
Okay.
it. Good.
Oh
now that you've
God, I
identified
can't.
that.
You're
No.
right. Okay, SS. I get it. Let's go.
Give
Monster
it a
Hunter.
90s.
Monster
twist to
Hunter.
it.
Monster Hunter.
Okay, all I
happened.
just wanted to say about this, they had a recent digital showcase, and I'm actually pretty blown of how much content is in this new expansion, Sunbreak.
It's what they did for Iceborne. I'm not surprised because when Monster Hunter World Iceborne dropped, it was an equivalently large
Yeah.
upgrade, like new content drop. This
Mhm.
comes out next month. I think it's in June, and it's going to drop.
in
This is
June, yeah.
actually worth noting. Unlike Iceborne, which dropped on consoles and then had a 6-month delay on PC, this will be simultaneously released on Switch
Yes.
and PC. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Worth noting.
Another big thing in this game, they introduced kind of a new mechanic in the gameplay. You're able to quickly switch loadouts of different skills during a Monster Hunter run. So there's a lot more availability of comboing. So all you Monster Hunter nerds and people who are really into this, you can there's your extra mechanic. You can go in another 90th dimension into the Monster Hunter abyss of mechanics there, and you can do all the crazy stuff, and you'll just share on Twitter, and I will like it very much because it looks cool, but I can never do it. And then they also have companion quests where they actually bring in like NPCs and like AI computer companions with you. Never been done before with Monster Hunter. It's always been like a single player type of deal, but now they're bringing certain quests within the game. You're able to bring companions with you, which I think is cool. I think they're testing that for the next Monster Hunter game. It's like, okay, does this work out? Like, will this be a cool way to handle like a hunt with a few companions with you? I think it would be really cool. To have some help with companions playing the game, because I always feel like when I'm playing single player in Monster Hunter, it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's just the monster's always at me, and I'm like, okay, I can play with friends, but like I don't. Other like people who play Monster Hunter are just like they just get into it and they just play like 8 hours throughout the day. I'm like, I don't have time to do that. So having companions as a good medium is pretty good. So anyways, I'm excited for it.
Best part of the Monster Hunter news is that sexy Pro controller that they announced.
I have the Rise one that I love.
Have
and I
no idea any of the words that you just said about the actual digital showcase. I don't know what the heck any of that is, but I love the Monster Hunter like hardware that they put out, the merchandise. I have a Monster Hunter shirt that I love. It's so cute. I've never played the game. I really want to get this Pro controller because it's super duper cute. I don't know. I'm a fake Monster Hunter fan.
I will probably buy that Pro controller if I can get my hands on it because I own.
Oh, and I want to get that one amiibo, the dragon amiibo.
I own those guys. They're cool.
Yeah,
the amiibo are cool. I pre-ordered the GameStop exclusive bundle that comes with the game and the amiibo because I wanted the amiibo. I don't want to talk about it. Things happen. Credit cards were pulled out. I don't want to talk about it. What else we got?
The long-awaited Pokemon Home 2.0 update was announced. I think that was today. I don't know. What are days?
Something.
Pokemon Home will add support for Pokemon Legends Arceus and for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl soon.
Cool.
Of course, they included a needlessly complex graphic to explain it all. In short, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Arceus, and Sword and Shield will have two-way transfer back and forth between Pokemon Home, while Pokemon Bank, the 3DS storage system, Pokemon Go, and Let's Go Pikachu Eevee will only have one-way transfers to Pokemon Home. They cannot go back to their original games. You may be wondering, or not, I don't know, about the Pokemon you send from Pokemon Legends Arceus, who are in those weird prehistoric Pokeballs. They will instead be placed in strange balls.
I hate this almost as much as the failing thing riding a wagon. I can't today.
Strange balls.
Strange
I love
balls.
it.
I need a
Thanks,
nap.
Pokemon.
I
Yep.
can't.
Thank you, Game Freak.
Kyle the Pug wants to know, since Pokemon Home is going to be compatible with Legends Arceus and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl sometime soon, do you think that this update was added later than expected? And would it still be worth paying the yearly subscription despite this update being added later? No, they always do this later. They release the game and then the compatibility with Pokemon Bank or Pokemon Home, that always comes a few months later. This is not unusual for them. They don't want people to put all of their great Pokemon into the most recent game and make it easy to just like play through the whole game easily.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know why they
Yeah.
do it. It's only worth paying the yearly subscription, which there's a free version of this, by the way. You don't have to pay any money to transfer your Pokemon. The yearly subscription only gives you, I think, like more storage, I think.
Oh,
Mhm.
really? Oh,
I think
okay,
so.
good.
There is,
Good to
yeah,
know.
she's right. I believe there is a free
There might be
version.
some other perks to it, but there is a free version that works perfectly fine. Only pay the subscription if like you're trying to transfer a lot of Pokemon or you want like a place to store all these guys indefinitely.
If you want like a huge
Mhm.
vault, I guess
Yeah.
that's
You need a
central.
Pokevault. That's
I
weird.
put my
but
living dex in it. It works. It's a small price to pay for preventing corrupted files.
That makes
Good
sense.
point. Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm good with Pokemon. I was thinking of trading in Legends Arceus for Triangle Strategy sometime and play it eventually.
When
I
you
don't know
finish
when.
Shin Megami Tensei 5, Garrett, you're allowed
Next
to make
year,
this move.
okay, Elaine?
Okay? That's right. It'll be
Sometime next year.
I'm not letting myself get hype for Scarlet Violet until they
Not
show
yet.
the next trailer. Then I'm gonna get hype, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall into that cycle again that I always do, and it's a
We had this
problem. And y'all have to
discussion
talk
when-
me off that ledge.
You're
Well,
still going to
here's the
play
thing.
it, Vex. You're going to
Bring
That
it
regret
though.
it,
Pokemon
probably.
game looks good. It actually looks, a
Yeah, we
little
have this-
evolved from Legends Arceus. Hey,
We
Legends
have
Arceus
high
was the
expectations
standout.
every time.
We do this every
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Remember,
Well-
Sword and Shield was supposed to be, oh, it's on the console now. It's gonna be awesome. They're gonna be able to do so much more.
They haven't. They don't.
Sword and Sun and Moon was, oh my gosh, like they learned their lessons
like
from
that.
X and Y.
I like Sun and Moon.
Okay.
Sun and Moon I like. But
But Starfield is not coming in anymore this year, so I'm open for the holidays.
you have a
think-
backlog the size of freaking Jupiter, my dude. Like
Who
you're good. You have
cares?
you're as bad as me. You don't
I'll
even
buy
need
it day
to.
one. I
Let's-
don't care.
Gatito.
I can't help it tonight.
Not
Garrett.
even
I've
Italian. I
missed
don't know
this.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but I got the.
Oh.
He's already brought it out once. That's why I'm picking on it. So
Fall Guys teased their biggest announcement yet. They're announcing something that's happening on May 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern. We already know what it is because
Cool.
it was leaked.
spoilers.
They're going free to play, and the
0%
game
surprise.
we already know that it's coming to Switch and Xbox, but they're also going to get crossplay, and they're going to tell us all this and probably some bells and whistles. I hope it's Shadow Drop that same day, but I think that's asking for a lot. So
Yeah.
It could be possible.
It's
Yeah.
possible, especially if they've been working on it forever. I'm looking at like what day of the week the 16th is. It's
Like
a
a
Monday.
Monday,
Who
yeah.
announces something on a Monday?
Fall Guys,
Woo!
because they don't want anything else to get in the way of this. I guess
That's
I don't
pretty
know.
much.
Oh, move out the way.
Everyone
Ludicrous.
already knows what it is, so
Yeah, spoilers.
all
All right.
I'm kind of over this, so I'm hoping that it's gonna make me feel excited to play it for
I
free on the
If it was
Switch.
free to play and it hits Switch, then I have built-in people in this house that it would be really fun to play it with. Like the kids will really
I
enjoy
would
it.
stream it every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun silliness. So I think it'll get some playtime around here, and then we'll move right on. So
I'm
like we
interested to
are now.
see the gameplay of Switch, the performance on Switch.
yeah, I guess we'll see.
It'll be
I think
fine.
it'll be okay. Doesn't
It'll be
Fortnite run
fine. It's not that taxing.
Wait,
Should be-
Fortnite, yeah, Fortnite is scalable.
Yeah,
I don't
Fortnite is
know.
fine. This should be
Yeah.
scalable too. So let's do it.
I'm only gonna get it if it's free to play.
It's going to be free to. I cannot imagine a world in which they try to drop this thing for $20 in 2022. You had your moment.
I won't pay it. I won't even pay $5 for it. Like it's got to be free to play.
Dang.
Spicy. Damn, girl.
They just announced a few hours ago that Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, is the next game, the penultimate possibly game coming to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack as far as N64 games go. It's coming next week on May 20th. It's the penultimate that we know of because Pokemon Snap is the last one that we know of. And we said this timeline is coming, so Pokemon Snap will be June, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
Well, if they do a direct in June, maybe we'll get more. If not,
we're done. That's it, guys.
Where's Wave Wraith? Where's 1080 Snowboard? Like, these other first-party games. Where's Pokemon Stadium?
Look, I know. I feel you. Okay.
Smash Brothers.
Don't start, Garrett. It's not. But don't do this. We can't go back. I will play
the leak. I never played this. The leak. What about the leak?
What leak?
Don't believe the leaks ever.
Oh,
they're never
right.
True.
There was
the copyrights, Elaine. What about the copyrights?
Man, I just don't. It's
the numbers.
I never get my hopes up anymore. I like to be pleasantly surprised instead of disappointed. This is the life choice I've made. I'll play this game. I never played it, so actually, I'm kind of excited.
Actually, I haven't played it before too, so I'll be interested to play this one. It looks fun. Looks cute.
It's like, I've never played it, but when I was watching the trailer, it said, the other thing I should mention about that. Okay, so they said, for anyone who's played the game, maybe they know, copy abilities with a twist that like you can combine copy abilities for like extra power-ups or something like that. I guess they were maybe trying out like the 3D architecture of the Nintendo 64. I don't know. What they are adding that's new is sorry, Medi just came in chat and said Starfight Gang stand up. The online mini games that you can play the mini games for Kirby 64 online with friends. So
that's cool.
That makes me hopeful that if they add Pokemon Stadium, that you would also be able to play the mini games online.
I really love your optimism.
So cool.
Dex. Like I
Can
really
we stream together? I would love to play the Pincer game in Stadium 2.
Oh no, you have Stadium. Okay, yeah, I don't know Stadium 2. I would play it with you, Garrett.
Okay, good. Sounds good. Yeah. That was my favorite one, the Pincer game.
Oh my God, I don't know that one.
Okay, so there's the logs and the pincers are like kind of like bent down. Okay, and there's a white line on the log. Yeah, you have to time it right because the logs fall down and you have to like cut it closest to the white line. And I played that forever, way more than the regular battle.
Real ones. No, Clefairy says where they go like fairy, 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 and you had to memorize the pattern. And if you got it wrong, if you got like one of the like directions wrong, the teacher, she had these like teacher glasses with like the little things coming down, would bop you in the head if you messed up. So it was like abuse in the school.
It was very violent.
Yeah.
Hey, typical school system in the 90s, man.
That sounds like the beginning of a cult. Like it's just the chanting, the beatings. It sounds like how cults start. I'm just saying. Like,
and then there was the one in Pokemon Stadium that turned into a mobile game, the Magikarp Jump, where like you had to take the Magikarp and you had to jump and hit the ceiling as many times as you could before the other players. And then they turned that into a mobile game, Magikarp Jump. Rest in peace. Oh my God, Magikarp Jump. I think they took that down.
Good stuff.
I like Stadium. That was a good game. Okay. We want to end our news segment.
Not on that, thank God. We're going to do one more story.
Let's do it.
Reminder to all who own a 3DS and Wii U. If you own a 3DS or Wii U, listen up. In 10 days from now, 9 if you're not listening to this live, the eShop is undergoing some changes where you will not be able to use a credit card anymore. So starting on May 23rd, only physical eShop cards, like the kind that you buy at a store, can be used to add funds. You won't be able to use your credit. So like if you want to buy a game on the store, you can't do it anymore unless you get an eShop card and load funds onto your account. On August 29th of this year, mere months away, eShop cards will no longer be able to be used. You'll still be able to use any of the funds that are on your accounts. However, you won't be able to add more credit to your account after that date. So if you don't want to have to use physical eShop cards, and there are still 3DS games that you want, and there are still Wii U games, virtual console games that you want, you have 10 days. You have less than a week. Well, about a week. 10 days is more than a week to buy them with a credit card.
Map. Sorry, it's late for y'all.
It really lost its steam on the threat in that moment when you're like, you have less than a week. Wait, that's more than less than 2
You don't have much time. The clock is ticking. I have some games I need to buy.
What do you need to buy, Rebecca?
I need to buy Phantom Hourglass. I need to buy Spirit Tracks.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna do Crimes for Golden Sun.
Do Crimes. And that's pretty much it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Guys, you've had your chance with all the Atlas, Bandai Namco sales, Capcom sales. They have done it. They have done their 3DS sales. They brought all of their games literally down to like $5 each. You could have gotten all of the Shin Megami Tensei whatever game. There's like 20 of them on 3DS. You could have gotten them all for like $80. So you've had your chance. So if you guys haven't bought them, then, well, you're just out of luck now. You're just whatever. Like, you know, you're a lost cause.
It's been a long time. Yeah. It's probably time to let these go. I mean, like, you know, just saying.
You can also do.
I don't know. I feel like it's too soon. I think that there should be 2 generations before they close the eShop. I think that it's too soon.
It's a long generation. The Switch has been out for a minute, you know? Like, it's been a while. I don't know. It's probably time.
Nah.
It's probably time.
It's probably time.
Yeah,
I don't know, they just don't offer other ways to play these games. That's the thing. Like, if you don't buy Phantom Hourglass now, like, you have to go onto eBay and pay ridiculous amounts of money to get it physically.
I like that you called it the eBay, which is the thing that people start to do as they get older. So welcome to...
I was going to say the internet, and then I said eBay.
It's way better this way. I call it the TikTok, so you know that I'm old. So...
I don't know.
On the eBay.
I just think that this is a problem that Nintendo can mitigate with their next console generation by allowing us to transfer our purchases.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they got the picture with Switch. I think they're like, okay, next one, guys.
Can someone clip this?
Let's hope.
Me and hold on to it. I think they got the picture with Switch, so when it all crashes and burns, we can be like, Garrett, why would you do that? Why would you say that?
Man, but you're right, Rebecca. These games are kind of like once they're done, once they're off the shop, like you can't even like really play 3DS games effectively in any other emulated system that I can think of, other than one of those flip touchscreen phones. Mm-hmm. No joke.
Ew. No, gross.
It's gross.
Those are gross. I don't like those.
You can put on one screen. But yeah, anyways.
I thought of another game that I have to buy. I have to buy Pokemon Crystal on 3DS because that's going to be the only legitimate way to get Celebi.
That's true.
That's true. Until they remake that one.
When will they make that real?
Who knows? They'll get there eventually.
When they just, well, that's the thing. You can't get a legit Celebi if you don't get this game. Unless like Nintendo decides in their own time to remake the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So don't let me forget about that one too.
Get your stuff. Get your games on your Wii U. Push the sales software units back up. We can get it higher than the Switch right now. I believe in us.
That's not going to happen. Don't do that. Don't. Garrett's on a roll today, y'all.
Buy the wonderful 101, the spectacular platinum game on Wii U.
Oh boy, he's done. Cut him off. Someone mute.
Okay, our questions from this week.
I choose chaos.
As our audience writes in each and every week, thank you for sending us questions. We like to answer them. TPR wants to know, what grips do Rebecca and Elaine currently use, or none at all, in Switch handheld mode? Oh, he says, I know Garret used to be a Split Pad Pro fan, but he says he's been using the OLED without them. Can you confirm or deny this?
I always play without grips these days. Yeah. I haven't played like an action game like an action-based game on my Switch in a very long time too. So once I actually, pick up, let's say, something like Astral Chain or Super Smash Brothers, I will quickly go back to the Hori Split Pad Pro. But for the time being, these are fine.
What is that controller that Yarden sent me where it's the Pikachu and Eevee ones? It's a light green. They're like really thick Joy-Con.
Oh, I'll show you.
Is that a grip? Is that like, does that count as a grip?
Yeah.
Or is that just a
Yeah,
special
that could count
controller?
as a grip
Oh,
because that's the Split Pad Pro, I believe.
It is.
I wasn't
Angela-
sure what it was called.
Yeah, I believe that's what they are. Because Garrett's got them. I have them too. I like the Split Pad Pro.
It's these
I
guys.
like them. Oh, yeah, it's those. Yeah.
They're very, very comfortable for certain
I do like
games.
those.
I like the D-pad on those too. A lot.
Me too.
So my day-to-day is I have an OLED. The right Joy-Con is the regular white Joy-Con. The left one is a Hori Joy-Con with a proper D-pad. The Zelda-themed one. I also own the Pikachu-themed one. It's like $20.
You do a regular Joy-Con and a Hori Joy-Con.
I like the D-pad for Tetris. So when I want
That's
to play,
valid.
that's the reason I do it. The I cannot play Tetris
Interesting.
handheld with the base Joy-Con. It's terrible.
That's valid.
I
That's
get all the
completely
auto
valid.
drops.
I get it.
And you can't play Tetris with the Pro controller because the D-pad on that thing is atrocious.
Yes, it's so
It-
bad. I am a
it auto
D-pad snob. I
can't
get it.
stand it. So I play that way, or I play with two regular Joy-Con. If I want to play an action-based game, the thing goes in the dock and I grab the Pro controller. That's just the way
Pro
that it
controller's
goes for me.
good.
So that's how I roll. 9 times out of 10.
I kind of, so when I'm playing it docked, I almost always play with the Pro controller as well because I love the Pro controller. It's my favorite controller, probably. I kind of rotate when I'm in handheld. So sometimes I'll use the Hori Split Pad Pro. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, you're calling it, yeah.
The kind of the thicker Joy-Con. But I also just recently got, and this isn't a grip, but I just want to show it off. These little, I don't know what they're called. They're stick grips or whatever.
Covers.
Yeah, they
grip
snap
I
covers.
just
on.
want a ton of them for my multitude of Joy-Con, and
That's
like I don't
adorable.
know, they're just cute. Like I guess they're more
They look
comfortable on the
cute.
thumb. I don't know, my thumbs weren't uncomfortable before. I feel like I don't really need a grip because like
Same.
I feel like my hands, like people always talk about their hands getting cramped. Mine don't. Like no
Same.
matter what controller I'm holding, I mean they're just
Yeah.
fine. So I kind of just go for whatever like I think is kind of cute at the time, which might be the Split Pad Pro, it might just be the Joy-Con, it might be the Pro controller. I don't know.
The other thing that I will do is if I want to play Tetris docked, because I said the Pro controller is atrocious for that, I own the 8-bit dough SNE,
The 8
SNS, the Pro,
Yes.
the good one, the nicest one. It's like $50.
The
It's
best
got-
one.
It's got the best D-pad of anything. So that's what I will usually snatch up when I want to play that. That thing is also very good. And I
That
also
thing's
own-
great. Yeah.
I
It's also
use
great.
this whenever I'm playing something that doesn't need a stick.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. That thing is so
My
comfortable.
my Bluetooth Super Nintendo controller.
I
I
don't-
also have the 8-bit do.
8-bit dough.
Yeah,
One,
8-bit dough. I don't know.
It doesn't
Do.
matter. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that controller a lot.
I
don't,
use that when I'm playing on the analog, the Super NT.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. I don't have a problem holding the base Switch with Joy-Con. Like it doesn't hurt my hands.
It's fine
I
for
probably have
me.
played hundreds of hours of Tetris that way. It's fine for me.
It's
I
really
believe-
just the preciseness of the sticks
Mhm.
because it's
Yeah.
it's just kind of hard with these guys. It's much better with the Hori. It's like because it's just a much bigger radius.
It is. And you
whatever.
can the nice thing about the 8-bit though is you can tweak that thing like aggressively.
Yeah.
You can fiddle with all the parameters on a PC program and it's great. So highly recommend that thing. Worth the
It's a good
$50
one.
goes on sale on Amazon all the time.
And there's like an upgraded version too. So
Yep.
go for it.
Ghosties99 says, do you think it would be good and profitable for Nintendo to release high quality statues or figures of their most popular characters, perhaps when the game when the game is coming out? I'm
Yeah.
kind of thinking like Amiibo, but like
I feel
Nah.
like the
Bigger
market for
statues.
those high-end statues is already so
Mhm.
saturated that it's
Mhm.
like why bother and why bother shipping them and worrying about something breaking and when they could just they're still making money hand over fist without it. So to me it seems unnecessary. That's just me.
I wish they would like lean into the Amiibo more, and I wish that they
Me
did
too.
more with them. Like I would not have been sad if they did like Amiibo for every big release and like
Agree.
made them,
Me too.
compatible in some way. I really like the first 4 figures, and I think Nintendo must get some kind of profits for that, right? Like they're doing the champion line for Breath of the Wild right now. I
Right.
think Mifa's
Yeah.
about to come out. They had Rivali, and like they're so nice. I have the first 4 figure of the Majora's Mask. They're awesome.
They
So I
must
think that's
license to them. They must make money on like character
I'm
licensing.
sure. Yeah.
Right.
So that's probably smarter because then they don't have to deal with shipping and production and manufacturing and quality control, and they can just.
And it's such a niche type of
It is.
collectible.
It's expensive to have that kind of stuff. So
it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
so I
don't
think they do fine with outsourcing that to like people who are better at it. I mean, look at the first amiibo that came out and how
Yeah.
ugly they were compared to the ones that they're putting out now. Like I feel like if they were doing statues or figures, it would be a long road before they got good at it.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think it's just not enough demand. I mean, like there will be demand, but it's such a niche audience compared to the production. It
Agreed.
would be just wasted resources for Nintendo in general. Yeah.
True. They're cool though. I like them. And I hope other people continue to make them. Delvin says, I have a fun question. PSVG has a trade system much like NBA. You have to pick 2 new hosts for your podcast. They cannot be your current co-hosts. So who are your new co-hosts for Shaq? And where do your former co-hosts go? Are we only able to pick from like the PSVG fam? Or is this like free agents anybody?
This is ridiculous.
Should we open up to everybody? Because there's really only like 4 other options, right? There's Delvin, Devin, Donnie, and Haley.
Yeah,
right?
basically.
That's
well, on the board
time.
with video games guys too. You know,
I'm so sorry, guys. Yes,
wounded.
Josh
They're
and Kyle.
Wounded. Just send
Josh
all
and
your
Kyle.
hate mail to Garret. I
All
don't
of it.
know. This is tough. Like I feel like any combination of the hosts that we have is a fun run. You know what I mean? Like to play diplomat. Like it doesn't matter. You can just roll the dice, pick 3 people, and it will be a fun show. So I don't know.
I want to make Devin talk about Nintendo every week. So
Okay, that's just
he's
she
coming.
chooses
He's coming
violence.
on the Nintendo Shack just for that reason alone.
You woke up and chose violence today. That's cool. All right. Wow. This
And then
podcast
then he's not I'm making him take a vacation the week that like some Metro news comes out.
Oh, so he can't have something he wants to
he
talk
can't
about. So you're
talk
just
about
gonna.
something he enjoyed. Yeah.
You really chose violence, Bex. Like, jeez.
Just whenever a major Switch release, of course he's playing it.
Poor
and
man.
talk about it.
You're just damn. Dev's called out.
I would bring
and then
Donnie
wait, my last can I say my last pick real quick?
Go for it.
I have to bring Haley just because like I can't do this again without a girl. I just can't.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That's a good choice too. That's good.
So I think what would happen for me, I would bring Donnie and Devin over, and we'll just start talking about the Steam Deck. And I don't think
a different podcast, Garret. That's a different show.
It's just gonna transfer from Nintendo to Steam Deck Shack, like, and it'll be a
Garret.
Are you trading yourself to another show?
Possibly.
This is just why we can't have nice things. Like this is Delvin. What is this question? Why are you like this? Why? You both chose violence today. I was trying to play diplomat. I'm out.
Elaine, you can join if you want to. Rebecca, the Steam Deck. It's open.
No, you said it cannot be your current co-host. You need to read
I know.
the question.
We all transfer over to a different.
Oh, okay.
Steam Deck.
And then just like have like
yeah,
the guys or something come over here to talk about Nintendo.
Well, they'll try. I mean, of course, Donnie will for sure talk a lot about it. I would actually like to see Delvin, Devin, and Donnie doing it.
Nintendo Shack.
You just want to burn it all down, don't you?
Oh,
like,
yes,
you just.
I do.
Woo!
That would just be Donnie talking the whole time, and the other two not.
That's kind of true.
A thing.
And Devin's like,
they would take a nap. They
sure.
would take a nap.
Sounds good.
And Devin just sitting there like.
Well, no, Delvin will be like,
he does that. He
actually like this game. I like this one and that one. Oh yeah, that game. I haven't played it before, but I like it.
So wait, where are you sending us? Where do your former co-hosts go?
Oh, if I'm bringing them over doing Steam Deck Check, Elaine, where do you go? I mean, do you like PlayStation? You've been
I
playing
play
Horizon?
PlayStation. I play everything. Let's just talk about video games.
Okay, you do play some video games, Rebecca. You can. I don't know. I mean, where do you want to go? Do you want? Do you want to just? I
Send
make
me
your own
over to
show.
Board with
You
Video
can call
Games.
the Rebecca show.
I wanna
and
play some
PSVG
board
would be way more
games.
popular.
Delvin, you did
Play-
this. You did
The
this.
board with video games. I think that would be cool. You know, guest spot in it.
I don't
And-
play many board games, but maybe I could learn.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm
There's so
gardening.
many
I'm
board
playing video board games. It's happening.
I just don't have anybody to play board games with.
I
Oh
just
yeah,
play
you want some
Catan.
kids? I got some kids. You want to borrow some kids?
No,
That
I got,
sounds
like,
frustrating.
4.
I spend 8 hours with them. Not
Yeah, I'd
yours,
be done too.
others. Many children.
Other people's
Your
children.
kids are probably better behaved.
You can come to us. You're not that far and play board games. How about that?
That is
Open
true.
Invitation. Open
I might
invitation.
take you up on that.
Open invitation. We'll feed you.
Moving on.
Serious violence there.
G-Man wants to know for Mario Strikers, if you could have any character besides Daisy, because we know everyone is sad that she's not in the game yet, which Mario character should be able to play soccer? He says, obviously, Petey Piranha is the best character, but who else should be?
What is Boo in the game? Did Boo?
No, there's like
Boo.
nobody.
Boo's not in the game.
Boo,
There's like
Koopa.
no one
Like,
in
give
it.
me
Yeah.
Boo. Boo's cool. He
I
gave me
want Pauline.
I know
Pauline's
you'd
a good
choose
one.
Pauline. It's a good choice. Rosalina is also a good choice.
Rosalina's
in
in
it.
there.
Is she in there? How
Yeah.
did she make it, but not
Peach and Rosalina are in it. I don't know.
This is nonsense.
Those are the only two, though.
This is
Toadette.
nonsense. No,
Yeah.
We need to
ew.
get in there.
No.
No more
Well, come on,
mushroom
we need more toads in there. We need at least
No,
like
we
5
don't need
No.
more toads.
different
Why-
colors, you know?
No.
No.
Have your a toad focused team and they just scream like the whole time.
I feel like he woke up on the violent side of the bed today. Both of you kind of did, but
No,
he's way
This-
worse.
This
He's
is
like
hold on,
picking
this is a
fights
great
now.
mechanic. What if one of the toads transform into a soccer ball? And so it's like a decoy
And then
soccer ball.
can I kick
And they
Toad?
get-
Can I
You-
kick
you
the
can-
toad? If I can
you
kick
can
the
kick
toad,
the-
I'm in.
Yes.
You
I'm
kick the
in.
toad and it keeps yelling every time you kick
Great.
it. It's like
Great.
wah.
Yeah.
And you
no,
know which one's
it's got to
pick
get
one.
increasingly upset every time. There have to
Anyways,
be
my
tears.
I would really like Diddy Kong. And
All right, that's okay.
Dixie
That's an okay
Kong.
choice.
Is that a
I would
Mario
love-
character?
No,
It's a
they're not.
Donkey. I mean, technically yes, because Donkey Kong. I mean, Mario's from Donkey Kong, right? That's how it works.
Sure. Yeah.
So Mario's a Donkey Kong character.
Exactly.
kind of. He's
Eh.
Jumpman, you see.
Every character is a Donkey Kong character.
I am choosing Boo because I think that would be fun. So
Boo would be great. King Boo. would
King
be
Boo.
awesome.
Wait,
Specifically.
Boo doesn't have any legs. How does that work?
magic. Bex,
floats.
really? This is what you're gonna get
Yeah.
hung up on in this
What would you
conversation?
Kick the ball with.
He can
It-
blow on
with
it.
its
Ghost magic. What do you
invisible
want?
legs.
Yeah, maybe he has invisible legs.
It
How do you
goes,
know?
you know, the ghost.
He's
Boo
got the
sound.
big tongue thing
Uh,
too. He could just.
Oh,
He should
yeah,
lick
the
it.
tongue.
Oh, yeah, he should
Just
lick
lick
it with
it.
the tongue. Yeah.
That's gross, actually. You know what? But I'm into it. Let's do this, Boo.
His ultimate power just wraps the ball under his tongue
Ew.
and just smashes it.
No. Oh, it's so gross. Okay, I regret all my life choices in this podcast all at once.
I want a Goomba because it only has feet. Why is that funny? I don't serious. It's not funny.
He
That
can't
really
do a
got me.
throw-in, though. How's he gonna throw the ball in?
With his
only-
head, he's gonna do a header.
I just love that reason. It only has
It's the reason. Like there was no other reason except it only has.
I mean, it makes more sense than a Boo. What are you talking about?
First of all,
The
none of
Boo
this
should
makes
be
any
in
sense.
Mario Hoops because it can
Yeah.
float up and do a slam dunk.
Ma'am, we are discussing a tiny mushroom man with only feet. None of this makes sense, okay? None of it. All right, so you can't go with it makes more sense here. Can't do it. All right, we're out.
I just
Wow.
want a team of all
That got
Goombas
me.
and all Whoopers from Pokemon because they
It's-
don't have any arms and they just have feet and legs and they could just
It's
Goombas versus
the
Whoopers. Who would
Toads.
win?
Goombas versus the Toads. This is a war for the
the
ages.
toads. There we go. Goombas versus the toads.
No, the Toad is the soccer ball.
Only under certain circumstances. I hate this. I hate
They're
it
like
so
decoys. we just broke Mario Strikers. That's what we did with this
You
question.
broke
Thank
me.
God we're not game developers.
I'm so blessed every day for that piece of information.
That one was good. That one was good.
Oh, I hate all this. Okay. All right.
Ending on the best question from Jules, who wants to know, is Starfy best boy? The answer
Who is
good boy.
Starfy?
is yes.
What did you
Garret.
say, Garret?
Who's Starfy?
We're ending
Am I
this
supposed to
podcast.
know who that is?
Face right now.
Starfy is an esteemed Nintendo character
Are you looking?
who was
this up?
lost to time.
I
He
don't
is
know
in
who this character
Smash.
is.
He's in Smash.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Everyone's in Smash. The legendary Starfy on the DS.
Legendary. Garret.
He's had
So
5 games, Garret.
More than Star Fox, or pretty darn close to it.
That's the
Hold on,
same
let's
number
see.
as Shin Megami Tensei. You're still not done yet, Garret.
Oh,
He's
there's so many.
He's
spin-offs.
basically Kirby, but underwater and a star.
He's a good
Okay,
boy.
cool.
He's a good boy.
What's the game? What's the plot? While sleeping in his bed, Starfy is suddenly awoken a rabbit-like. Okay, wow.
Is it Starfy or Starfy? I always thought it was like Starfire. Starfy.
I
Starfy,
don't
maybe
know.
Starfy.
Do they-
Starfy, I thought it was Starfy.
It could be Starfy.
Also, I can't believe you're reading the plot. It's like a fever dream. Don't do that. It'll kill off at least
It
10
looks-
house. Please don't keep reading
Yeah.
it. Don't.
I'm looking at
Yes,
the game.
Starfy is best boy.
He's a
Okay,
good boy.
cool.
He's a cute boy.
It's just a yellow star.
Yes, and Kirby's
Just a yellow
pink
star.
sphere.
And the show.
Whoa.
And the show.
There's a
Just a
show
yellow
of this?
star.
She is furious
I
at you.
can't. I can't.
This is what
I
have
am
to do with-
tweeting. So here's what I'm doing. I'm
Oh,
tweeting
no.
about
Yeah.
Starfy every day until it becomes a thing.
Okay.
Until people are
Next.
talking about Starfy.
Oh, it Densetsu no Starfy 2002.
I'm gonna make it a thing.
What's that?
This is
What
this
are
podcast
these?
is a special show. This special
Hmm.
is so
Starfy.
special.
Starfy. I'm sorry, Starfy. I grew up saying
All
Starfy.
right.
Starfy.
I'm
Starfy.
gonna have to check this one out, guys. I can
Yes.
probably get this on the 3DS.
She might fight you if you don't. Like I'm a little.
I
afraid
learn
right
something
now.
new every day, and this is one of them.
Thanks,
Starfy.
Grandpa. Don't forget to do
Thanks
your
for the
calisthenics and
question,
stretches.
Jules.
You guys are the best question askers. Best.
Thank you.
All right. Have we finished the show? Have we?
I don't
have
know.
The violence.
finished the show,
Okay.
and nobody's dead, so I consider that to be a win.
After
I
this
cried
show?
at least once. Cried
Oh,
laughing.
Garret.
So we made it.
You chose so much
Guys.
violence that I had to bring out Italian hands. Like you went all
Italian
in.
hand.
Both of them.
Frigatito.
Persona is better than Shin Megami Tensei.
No! Oh, we're ending the show. We've offended like so many people now. Oh,
See
no.
you next week, Koopalings. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Have a good everything. I don't know. Good
Bye
night.
bye.